Hear Me Too. Now that is the theme that kickstarts 16 days of activism against women and child abuse this year. Now, Expressions visits the city of Ekurhuleni, where we catch up with umuntu wesifazane, a phenomenal woman who suffered abuse at the hands of the man she thought had loved her.
You are an abuse survivor. I will start to speak as Tombini about what happened to you.
I was 19 years and he was 23. My husband came home on a Monday while I was busy preparing to go to work. He was supposed to be at work on the day, but as to why he was around, that was suspicion on me. Without even saying a word, Wangtela with an acid, and I landed in hospital, being a patient there for almost 2 years. But then the abuse started in 2004. Then he started to be a drinking guy. He was Msioni, a church guy, very humble, very sweet guy.
What was going through your head?
I waited for death anyway during our marriage life, because it's something that he will tell me that one day I'm going to kill you.
How do we as a community extend our efforts to go on 365 days a year awareness that there is abuse?
You know those things. So I believe it should start in churches, because that's where we spend most of our times there. Then it will automatically come to the communities. He is around.
Was he arrested?
I went to the police station, Eden Park police station, just next to this park, opened a case from the hospital bed. The sad part was when we get in the yard, the policemen that we were with saw their brother-in-law and they knew each other. So they saved him the embarrassment to say, no, just bring him to the police station. Then I left for the hospital. As to what happened there, that one I still need to know, because I've got the belief and the feeling that he was not detained. This morning at 5 o'clock, he was at my place, asking me why do I want to destroy his life.
Sponsor, all that emotional turmoil that you go through, you have the scars to show it, literally.
And they're beautiful, eh?
Beautiful. But no justice?
That one I can guarantee you, I'm going to get it. That one is a given. Come what may. As long as I'm still alive, I'm going to get it. Because my case was open in 2014, and I don't know what happened from 2014 up until here.
A really sad tale indeed. And on that note, we want to say hello, Dumelang Sanbonani, South Africa. Welcome to Expressions. This is the place for you to air your views. I'm your host, Jacqueline Mapala.
I'm your host, Umxolisi Wagomasango. Sizagene Bkhoma from our studios in Auckland Park, Johannesburg. Now, at the back of that insert, Jackie, the abuse of women and children has become deeply normalized in our country. Is 16 days of activism against gender-based violence campaign effective?
Well, that's a very important question, because 16 days of activism against gender-based violence is a national and international campaign aimed at challenging violence against women and children. The campaign runs every year from the 25th of November to the 10th of December. Even though the campaign has been running every year, police statistics indicate that the abuse of women and children is still on the rise, Mgo.
Yeah, and as you can see, some of our guests are already emotional, Jackie. Kora, we want to know just how effective is this campaign. We took to the streets as Expressions. Take a look at this.
Hi Expressions, this is Ntombizodwa Zikale and I'm your street journal for the day. I'm here to ask some questions about the 16 days of activism.
I think it's a really dope initiative, and I think for me the aim is how far is it going and how serious do people take it, because I feel like we do all of these campaigns and all these things but people don't really take it seriously.
Here in South Africa. 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. 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 16 days of activism against gender- Well, it means a lot to me because I think it's a really great initiative for people to create awareness for against violence.
It's a pointless campaign, in all honesty. That's how I feel.
As a guy, you need to show that aggressiveness once to show by say like you're the guy in the relationship, yeah, but like they like that. Some girls say that they like stuff like that.
Those days are designed to like give awareness to South Africans about like human abuse and children abuse.
What do you think can be done to stop this violence against women and children?
I think the government needs to take this issue very seriously, and also more awarenesses need to be done in the community so that everything is proper and the education for children is much of the first priority than everything, so that everything goes well.
I think it's more about educating the people and letting them know more about what the initiative is about, and in that way they'll take it more seriously.
16 days is not enough because like we see and experience abuse in our societies each and every day. So there should be like a system designed to create awareness to all South Africans, like 365 days, the whole year.
No woman in this country should be abused. Women violence should end in this country. No woman deserves to be abused by a man in this country.
Some interesting comments there from young people on the streets, but to help me unpack this so important conversation that we're having in studio tonight, I'm joined by Busisiwe, aka Sisi Twala, and I'm also joined by Loyiso Saliso, who is from the National Steering Committee, hashtag Total Shutdown. Ladies, welcome to Expressions.
Hi, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much for being here. And of course, they say the best things come in two. And if you're wondering what's happened to my co-host, Mkolisi, he's on our social media corner, bringing some of your insight and perspectives on this issue that we're discussing in studio. Ladies, we'll get into it. There was something really impactful about watching that insert with Oponso. I mean, it's a story of survival more than anything else, but there's victory in it because she was able to share her story. But I think I want to start with you, Loyiso. I mean, the police statistics still indicate that murder rates for women has increased by 16% in the past 5 years. 18,000 child rapes reported between 2017 and 2018. Now, obviously, the obvious question is this campaign effective?
The truth is it's not effective, because if it was, we wouldn't be seeing an increase in the stats in our country. It's also one of the reasons why we decided as activists to come together and shut the country down, because we have this 16 days of activism, but through my experience, I see it only being a gaslighting, period where you find men actually violating women on purpose because it is 16 days. So it's not really effective in our country at all.
Which is kind of sad, because it means that women and children are living under constant fear, constant threat to their lives. And, Sissy, I want to bring this back to you. I mean, everybody knows you for your talent, your beauty, your success. But I mean, you made headlines for a different reason. You opened an assault case against music mogul Arthur Mafokate. I mean, tell us a little bit about your story.
I obviously can't go into the details. As I've stated, is that we are still in court, so I don't want to mess around with the merits of the case. But I did experience abuse, and for me, it's really sad because these campaigns are just nothing, because the law is not on our side. You know what I mean? So it defeats the whole purpose of us going out there and fighting and speaking against women abuse when the law, there are no real consequences, and that's why there's still an increase in women and children abuse.
I noticed you were quite emotional when we were looking at Bonzo's insert. I mean, talk to me a little bit about what was going through your mind as you were watching that, understanding the fact that you guys have walked the same journey. You guys have been in each other's shoes.
Yeah, I think for me, I was just like in awe of her strength, and that she wore her scars so proudly like a warrior. And I have to wear mine too, and luckily for me, they're more hidden than hers, but no woman should ever go through that. And we actually really need to start having real consequences for men who do abuse women. The fact that the abuser is still walking free on the streets really just says, why are we even having these marches and these talks? And this conversation is redundant, because someone at this particular point is getting abused, she's going to go and open a case, but I mean, nothing's going to be done about it. Yeah.
And Luis, I want to bring you into this conversation. I mean, we've seen a lot, this culture of silence that Bonso sort of touched on, to say that, you know, like it's important for women to come up. But I think what Sisi is saying is that, yeah, women are speaking up, but not enough is being done. Yeah. So what is the solution then? What is the solution for women who are watching the show, for women like Sisi, who is living and breathing this on a daily basis? I mean, how do we change this?
You know, we always keep getting the question that how do you prevent as a woman being abused? And why is the focus always on us? Why aren't we asking how do men stop abusing women and children? Because honestly, we can go and report the cases like Poncho also did go report, but the justice system is flawed. It's not on our side. For children that go into, you know, go testify, it's flawed. We saw what happened with the Omotoso case, how she was re-victimized in court. Yes. And that's why, even as a total shutdown, we have the 24 demands where we are declaring and demanding that the justice system be amended, because it's not working for us at all. We literally are on our own. And this abuse on our bodies is actually a national crisis, and it's not even being treated as such.
Yeah. And I think just because we kind of have to wrap things up, how are you doing? I mean, I know there's a lot of shame, there's a lot of guilt that comes with being a victim. We like to blame ourselves. But I mean, how are you doing? How are you doing? How are you overcoming that?
I think for me, I was reading a book, Ian Lafanzant, and it says we have no obligations to misery. And life is meant to be lived. And sometimes the pain that we experience after certain things have happened is self-inflicted, because we keep playing these incidents in our heads over and over again. So we have no obligation. We need to move on. Yeah.
Oh, indeed. And I think I couldn't have said that even better. You're probably watching the show. You're probably going through the same thing. Please speak up. I think as Expressions, we're encouraging you to speak up. We'll be back after this. And go on the flip side of this. You're watching Expressions.
You are still watching Expressions, your hashtag #1 youth current affairs show. We're talking about gender-based violence. Siyabuzagi, is the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence campaign effective? I'm now joined by Themba Masango, Secretary General of Not In My Name. Great to have you on the show indeed. Now, Themba, I just want to know from you right now. Let's talk about the importance of a 16 days of activism. Are we really stepping up, particularly as men?
Good question. And the simple answer is no. Because in public, we can have these activities and the whole awareness campaign and so on. But most importantly is what happens in the background, in the pubs, in the clubs, where men are gathered. And that's where the mindsets needs to change, because the patriarchal system runs deep, and we need to be able to speak to one another and self-correct, because at the end of the day, we are the ones doing the raping, we are the ones doing the abusing. And this stops a lot of women from coming out, because our privilege as men is still out there. In police stations, it's very strong. Women don't want to go and say that they have been raped or abused, because first line is a police officer who has not been trained with regards to gender sensitivity. 2, your courtroom, 9 out of 10 times, the person who's going to be listening to the entire case is a man who probably has patriarchal beliefs, sitting, judging the whole case. So as men, just like it was in apartheid, white people having a privilege just by purely being white, as men we have that privilege of being men. And our patriarchal mindsets run deep. You know, from day one we tell our boys don't cry, you know, you need to stand up and fight for yourself and so on. And the moment you stand up for the rights of women, you are seen as an emasculated man. So then those are the type of mindsets that Not In My Name is trying to change. That, listen guys, we need to understand that one, we are created equal. Two, women have got, if not better, same rights, same desires, same visions and goals that they want to achieve.
Clearly, to bring awareness into the thought as well. Now, Ponzo, the lady we saw in the insert, there are many of them. Some of them, babugele yonale show right now, who haven't had their stories told. What is it that we are doing wrong? Because next year we're going to be having the same conversation at this time of the year, yet Abu Sisbetu, Abu Mama Betu are still getting abused. What is it that we're doing wrong as a society?
The issue is that we relax the whole year, and come this time of the year, we all want to sound as if we care. We want to sound as if women actually matter to people. But the 16 days of activism should be 365 days. There should be sustained pressure and making sure that every single day is a women's rights day, especially from the side of men. We should take it up and to kill the whole bystander effect and the looking away from issues. You know, the issue with and then we have mama next door, that needs to come to an end. What. You can't afford that because, you know, Thomas Sankara teaches us that no nation is truly liberated until its women and children are completely liberated. So, and as South Africa, honestly, we are at war with ourselves because we're at war with our own women and children. At any given time, you and I as men, right now can go outside, stop a taxi, don't have an issue. But for a woman, just to walk down the street is a mission and an accomplishment. And to put up a hand or to quality you can imagine what goes through her. We don't understand that as men. So we need to have those discussions amongst ourselves as guys. Number one.
It begins with us.
It begins with us because we are the ones doing the raping. We are the ones that are doing the abusing. Number two, it also goes to us also believing women when they come out. Not to say, why were you wearing a miniskirt? Why Akshaya went there and what happened? No, this is what happened. Let's take up the case. If it's wrong,
it's a joint effort indeed.
We cannot work in silos.
Can I just hold it there for a moment, Temba? Let me just quickly check in with our social media sphere. Let's just quickly find out what you had to say on your expression for this week. Please, roll it.
Hi, Expressions. My name is Nshalati Paloi. I don't think that the 16 Days of Activism campaign is effective, simply because I don't think 16 days is enough to fully educate men on the dangers that they're giving us in our daily lives and what we go through as women. You can't teach such fundamentals in 16 days.
Of course, echoing some of the sentiments that you've shared as well, Temba. And of course, let's just quickly check in with our Facebook. That's Expressions on Facebook. So Nabile says it is not effective at all. Women and children are abused 365 days a year, and campaigns like these should be running throughout the year. Government should also reach out to people in rural areas. Perhaps, Temba, you can tackle that a bit later on in the show as well, as to how do we get organizations like Not In My Name in rural areas. Nazim Khroetboom says, yes, we have seen it, it's effective, but our government and justice system are failing our people. Tomafo says, no, it's not. What effective is that on 16 days? We as South Africans do a lot of partying and we keep on abusing women and children. And of course, all the views expressed in this segment are those of our viewers and in no way reflect those of Expressions and its producers. We continue with this all-important discussion when we return. It's your most favorite current affairs show, back after this.
Welcome back. You're still watching Expressions here on SABC1, and today we are talking about a very topical issue, and we are talking about gender-based violence. And the poll question that we're asking you tonight is 16 Days of Activism a campaign that is effective? Ladies, unfortunately, we're going to have to wrap things up, but I think I want to give you both an opportunity, I think, just to speak to the ladies at home. I think let me start with you, Cici. Inspire the ladies at home. I mean, you're a survivor, you're a victor more than anything else. Please speak to our ladies at home.
Basically, what I could say to women is that never be afraid to start over, and that's the message I always preach at the end of everything else, because we are so scared to start over again that we hold on like to a relationship that has no benefits to our mental health or our physical health. So never be afraid to start over.
Yeah, self-worth. Hey,
Yeah.
you always need to value yourself. And Loyiso?
Mine is, your silence is actually injustice. You need to speak out, no matter how long it's been. People always ask, why are you only speaking out now? It's never too late. And also, no matter, you can't love an abuser enough. It's better to just walk away, honestly. And also, as a TTS, we are running a 16 days should be 365 days campaign. And we want people and women to continue holding each other you know, together, uniting and helping each other get help when it comes to fighting this.
I absolutely love that. It should move to being 365 days of the year. Ladies, thank you so much. Power, light and strength to you guys.
Thank you so much for having us.
Wow, interesting. And of course, India organizations like Not In My Name coming to the fort.
Right?
Yeah. And of course, Mbugeli Lapikaya, let's just quickly find out what you had to say when we asked you if you think campaigns are effective when it comes to gender-based violence. And about 90% of you said no and 10% said yes.
A lot needs to change. A lot needs
things
to
need
change.
to change indeed. At the back of that, let's just quickly find out what our announcement there's an announcement, right?
Yes.
Yeah, let's just quickly find out what the announcement
Take a
is.
look. On Saturday, World AIDS Day, we'll be having what we call Dignity Adventure Drive in Clovendale Nature Reserve. Please bring along toothbrush, toothpaste, body lotion, roll-on, or anything that you know you will want to use in the morning. We've already identified 3 schools. Please come and join us and have fun. But at the end of the day, the message is, we give because we know how it is to be without. Thank you very much.
Again, Mbugeli, if you have an important announcement that you'd like for us to get out for you, do make sure that you send it to us. Our contacts should be on your screen. And of course, we thank you so much for joining us. Afro pop sensation Tabia plays us out.
Ciao. Bye.
Too many of us are crying, many of us are suffering. Too many of us are dying every day. War is not the answer. Oh, we all Sekombana ngamina omunye ubigele soloke Oh kuyoze kube nena sizonana so